Hi everybody, and welcome back to my Snapchat series of Paranormal Investigation. Tonight I will be investigating a local legend. Now, the legend I'm investigating tonight is called The Legend of Sarah, and there are a lot of different versions, but they all have a few common threads. So for instance, every single version has the main character's name as Sarah Besser, and in every version, she is an outcast who goes to the local school. And in nearly every version, Sarah happens to be a bookworm, which isn't necessarily relevant to the legend itself, but adds to the detail factor. So the basic outline of Sarah's story goes as follows. She has always tried to fit in, but for some reason her classmates just don't like her. Maybe it's because she's a bookworm in a small town, I don't know. But this school camping trip is planned. Everyone is going to be going on this trip, everyone that Sarah has always tried to be friends with. And so she decides, you know what? I'm going to go on that camping trip. So, bookworm Sarah, she makes plans for transportation, she picks a group to go in, and she goes on that camping trip. But the second night, Sarah has to go to the washroom in the middle of the night. So she gets out of her tent, and she goes to the outhouse. And it's pitch dark. And she just never comes out. The next morning, her classmates look for her in the woods, in the nearby playground, they look everywhere, and she's nowhere. And then, some unwitting character in the story, finds Sarah, finally. This unwitting character apparently finds Sarah still in the outhouse, mutilated almost beyond recognition. And there are theories immediately after her death, an animal attack, a murder, suicide, but none of them really make sense. The animal attack doesn't make sense because there's a door to the bathroom. It couldn't have got in. The murder might make sense because she's so mutilated, but there are no defensive wounds at all. It's like she just died from some huge impact. And apparently suicide didn't make a whole lot of sense either because it would be nearly impossible to inflict that much injury on oneself. So Sarah's case was never solved. But then strange things started happening around the campground. Things started going missing out of people's tents and being found in strange places, usually in the outhouse, and people sort of chalked it up to pranks. So some genius decided that all of these occurrences could be explained if it was Sarah Besser's ghost haunting the campground. Now, apparently, a willing participant can talk to Sarah. But as with any legend, there are rules. You are not allowed to look at her, so you have to face away from the door of the outhouse. The second rule is that she's so mutilated, her ghost is so mutilated that she can't speak, so she answers in knocks, which means you need to use yes or no questions. Finally, and this is what makes it an exciting investigation, you must not forget to conclude the session with, "Thank you for your time, Sarah," or you will die some terrible death. I have a few theories behind these supposed hauntings. First of all, I think it's pranks. I do. As such, I have picked very late on a school night to make sure that there's no kids around who are going to prank me while I do this. Another potential explanation is simple mass hysteria. Kids in groups getting themselves riled up and thinking that they hear knocks from Sarah as yes or no answers. So, to ameliorate that problem, I am going alone. Which, now that I think about it, is probably the stupidest thing I could possibly do. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, we're here at the campground where Sarah supposedly died. There's the outhouse. I came armed with my notebook of questions and my blankie, and we're gonna settle in. When I talk to Sarah, I'm going to ask her to respond with 1 knock for yes and 2 knocks for no, and I have a series of questions I'm going to ask her. Sarah, if you're here, knock once for yes. Are you in fact the ghost of Sarah Besser? Okay, Sarah, are the stories about your death true? is something unfinished keeping you here? Sarah, I want to ask you, were you murdered? Can I help you move on, Sarah? Sorry, Sarah, maybe you misheard me. I asked, can I help you move on? Yes or no? Okay, so that sounded like a yes followed by a no. I don't really know what she means by that, but I'm just going to move on. Sarah, are you angry? One more time, Sarah. Do you feel angry about your death? Sarah? Sarah, are you still here? Well, it would appear that the interview is over. I hope I didn't say anything bad, but I don't know what to do. Well, I don't really have any choice except to pack it in because I haven't heard from Sarah in a long time, and Listen to that. I was leaning on the door. I probably made the knocking sounds myself. Oh gosh, of course. Ugh. I think it's safe to say the legend of Sarah has officially...